The movie opens with Tripp, an attractive, charming, and successful 35-year-old man living comfortably in his parents' house. His life seems to be going well. He has a great job as a boat broker, a steady stream of romantic encounters, and a close-knit group of friends, Demo and Ace, who are also seemingly content with their lives. The only problem? Tripp still lives at home with his loving but increasingly exasperated parents, Sue and Al. Sue and Al, though supportive, are beginning to feel the strain of having their grown son living under their roof. They love Tripp, but they desperately want him to move out and start his own life. They tried various tactics to encourage him to leave, but nothing has worked. Tripp, for his part, shows no signs of wanting to move out, citing his comfortable lifestyle and his enjoyment of living with his parents. What Sue and Al don't realize is that Tripp has a secret strategy. Every time he gets involved with a woman and the relationship starts to get serious, he brings her home to meet his parents, and the discovery that he still lives at home always causes the relationship to end. It's a foolproof method for Tripp to avoid commitment and maintain his comfortable, carefree life.
This is your house?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Tripp, as long as you're up, son.
Oh.
Oh, come on, Pop.
You live with your parents?
Is that a problem?
Are you kidding me?
Frustrated and running out of ideas, Sue and Al discover a rather unconventional solution to their problem. They learn about Paula, a professional interventionist who specializes in helping parents get their adult children to move out of the house. Paula's method involves pretending to fall in love with the man in question, building up his confidence and encouraging him to take steps toward independence. Once the man has moved out, Paula breaks off the relationship, leaving him with a newfound confidence and independence he needs to thrive on his own. Despite some initial reservations about the ethics of hiring someone to manipulate their son, Sue and Al decide that they are desperate enough to give Paula's method a try. Paula enters Tripp's life by orchestrating a chance meeting at a coffee shop where she accidentally bumps into him.
Excuse me. It's
Ooh,
mine.
yes, ma'am. You buying that?
No.
A cocktail, blanket, or anything?
No, I just need my 20 minutes
For what?
to clear my head.
Tripp, immediately attracted to her, strikes up a conversation, and Paula plays along, pretending to be interested in his life while subtly steering him toward taking responsibility for himself.
I'm Paula.
I'm Tripp.
Usually I don't sleep with someone on the first date.
Oh, I don't think this counts as a first date.
It would be a date if you asked me to have a drink tonight.
As the two begin dating, Paula implements her well-practiced strategies. She listens to him, supports his hobbies like sailing and biking, and gently encourages him to start considering living on his own. At the same time, she tries to make him feel confident and empowered in his own decisions. As their relationship progresses, Paula uses various psychological techniques to break down Tripp's reliance on his parents. She takes him rock climbing to build his self-confidence, encourages him to spend more time away from home, and gets him to open up emotionally, slowly nudging him toward a more independent lifestyle. Tripp, feeling the positive effects of the relationship, starts to think that maybe it's time for him to finally move out of his parents' house and start living his own life. However, complications arise when Paula begins to develop real feelings for Tripp. Despite her professional detachment in other cases, she finds herself genuinely attracted to him and emotionally invested in their relationship. Paula's best friend and confidant, Kit, notices this shift and warns Paula that she's getting too close to her client. Kit, a quirky and somewhat pessimistic character, provides comic relief throughout the film as she deals with her own issues, particularly her obsession with a noisy mockingbird that won't stop chirping outside her window. As Paula's feelings for Tripp deepen, Kit's cynical outlook on love contrasts with Paula's growing emotional turmoil. Meanwhile, Tripp's friends, Demo and Ace, begin to sense that something is amiss. Demo, who is confident and laid back, doesn't pay much attention to Tripp's relationship with Paula, but Ace becomes suspicious. He starts to believe that Paula's relationship with Tripp might not be as genuine as it seems. Ace, who is more insecure and awkward than Demo, has his own reasons for digging deeper into Paula's background. He's developed a crush on her and wants to know more about her. Ace decides to investigate and, in doing so, discovers the truth about Paula's profession. Shocked and angry, he confronts her, accusing her of using Tripp and manipulating him for money. Paula, torn between her feelings for Tripp and her professional ethics, is forced to reassess her entire approach. As Ace reveals the truth to Tripp, Tripp is devastated. He feels betrayed not only by Paula, but also by his parents who hired her in the first place. Hurt and humiliated, Tripp confronts his parents and accuses them of meddling in his life and treating him like a child. He storms out, refusing to talk to Paula or his parents, and retreats to the one place where he feels safe, his boat. In the wake of the fallout, Tripp begins to reflect on his life. He realizes that while Paula's methods were deceptive, she had a point. It's time for him to grow up and take responsibility for his life. Tripp starts to take steps toward independence, including moving out of his parents' house. Sue and Al, meanwhile, are left to deal with the emotional aftermath of their actions. They feel guilty for deceiving their son, but also relieved that he's finally taking charge of his life. In the final act of the movie, Tripp confronts Paula. After some time has passed, he tracks her down and demands an explanation. Paula admits that she was hired by his parents, but confesses that her feelings for him became real over the course of their relationship. She tells him that she truly cares about him and apologizes for deceiving him. Tripp, though hurt, begins to understand that Paula's feelings were genuine even if her initial intentions weren't. He acknowledges that he needed the push to grow up and that Paula's intervention, though flawed, helped him in the long run. The film reaches its emotional climax as Tripp decides to give Paula a second chance. He realizes that he has genuine feelings for her as well, and that despite the unconventional way they met, their connection is real. In a heartwarming scene, Tripp and Paula reconcile, and Tripp takes the final step toward independence by officially moving out of his parents' house. He invites Paula to move in with him, symbolizing the beginning of their new life together. Meanwhile, Sue and Al, having succeeded in their goal of getting Tripp to move out, are left to adjust to life as empty nesters. In one of the film's more comedic moments, Al, who has been looking forward to having the house to himself, strips down and revels in his newfound freedom, much to Sue's chagrin. Sue, on the other hand, feels a mixture of sadness and relief as she realizes that her son is finally growing up. The couple's relationship, which had been strained by the stress of Tripp's extended stay, begins to flourish once again now that they have their house to themselves. In a parallel subplot, Kit finally resolves her ongoing battle with a mockingbird that has been tormenting her throughout the movie. After several failed attempts to deal with the bird, including throwing objects at it and calling animal control, Kit's persistence pays off when she accidentally scares it away for good. This minor victory provides comic relief but also serves as a metaphor for overcoming life's smaller obstacles. The movie concludes with Tripp and Paula happily embarking on a new chapter of their lives together. Tripp, having moved out and embraced adulthood, is now ready to take on the responsibilities of a committed relationship. Paula, having let go of her professional detachment, is ready to pursue a genuine romance with Tripp. The final scene shows the couple sailing off on Tripp's boat, symbolizing their shared journey into the future. Failure to Launch is a lighthearted romantic comedy with heartwarming moments of personal growth and humorous insights into modern relationships. The film's central theme of breaking free from the comforts of dependency and embracing independence resonates with audiences, as does its message about the complexities of love, trust, and forgiveness. Though the film is primarily comedic in tone, it also addresses deeper issues such as the fear of commitment, the challenges of parent-child relationships, and the importance of self-discovery. With strong performances from the cast and an engaging, if somewhat formulaic plot, Failure to Launch delivers an entertaining and relatable story about learning to grow up, no matter how late in life that journey begins. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to like and subscribe so we can keep making recaps like this.
He's a really nice guy. He's smart, he's sweet, he's funny.
Hallelujah!